morning, everybody. Welcome to my unloading video. My name is Sally Roper and I'm coming to you from Pottery in Jamaica. If this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, welcome. Please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you wish to see more. I have lots of unloading videos and I have a few technique or how I've built things, which I want to add a little bit more of that into my channel. So let's look forward to some really fun stuff coming up in the future. This kiln load is mostly commissioned work. Well, it's pretty all commissioned work. But what I did this time was I did a few different techniques in how I painted some of the dishes that I did using Mayco's Stroke and Coat Underglaze, where in the past I've always used Amaco's Underglazes. So I'm really anxious to see the difference and how these have turned out. I have not even had a sneak peek. My kiln is still locked. It is at 80 degrees, which is the moderate temperature here in Jamaica. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, right here is a spare tire. Who doesn't have a spare tire or a wheel in their kiln room? Well, I do, because I'm actually in a garage, in one of the two garages that I have in the house that I'm living in. So anyway, that has absolutely nothing to do with pottery, and I have ADD, and that was a distraction, so I thought I would talk about it. Anyway, before I get into the unloading, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Perry at Scut Kilns. He was incredibly helpful. I was having a dreadful time with my kiln firings. They were going from 1 hour overtime, 2 hours overtime, 3-4 hours overtime. I spoke to Perry and I kind of knew what the solution was, but I just wanted to reconfirm with him. But yes, I needed to change my elements. Now, because I live in Jamaica, I have a different power supply. We're on 50 cycles as opposed to the United States or North America, which is 60 cycles. So they custom built me some elements, and I ordered 2 sets because I know that in time I'm going to end up having to replace the replacements. And I installed them, and it wasn't easy. I did it myself. I didn't require the assistance of a young chap to cut the wires. I just don't have that strength in my hands anymore. My age is catching up with me, sadly, but that's the fact. But it was just opening up the power box, unclipping the wires, pulling out the elements, installing the new ones, reconnecting them to the box, and then I did a test firing, and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And I've done bisque firing, and I've done this is my first glaze fire with the new elements. And the program that I put into there was to run for 7 hours and 45 minutes, and I think it ran for about 7 hours and 50 minutes. So it is absolutely spot on. So if you're having any issues with your kiln, with it running into extra time, then that's a good indication that it's time to change your elements. And I recommend you do that, because my kiln has never worked better now that I have the right the right elements in the kiln itself. So without any further ado, I have not had a peek yet. It's still locked. So I am going to go ahead and unload my kiln. So let's go. Woo. And already I'm happy with what I see. So let's go. All right. So I have a whole lot of these kind of dishes, and you've seen me do these before. They're a commissioned, let me just put this up so I don't cut off my head, although you're not really here to see me, you're here to see my pottery. Anyway, yes, I've done these before, but this time what I did was, as I said, I used the Mayco's Underglaze, their Stroke and Coat Underglaze, and what I did was I decorated the flower, and I decorated the leaves and the stem. The leaves and the stem are Amaco, still Underglaze, but this is the flower, and what you're about to see in the other design that I make, it's like an olive dish. I've used the Stroke and Coat Underglaze. And I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So I painted the flower, and then I covered it with Mark's Wax On, because when I dipped it, I did not want I didn't want it to work like an underglaze, because I did 3 coats, two heavy coats. So I would say that's 3 coats of the Underglaze. And I'm really pleased with how that turned out. I can't tell you the colors because I have 21 different colors and I just did a mishmash, but I think, I don't even want to guess. I know the red is hot tamale, but I can't tell you which one the yellow is. I just don't have that memory, and I didn't write it down. I wrote down that I used the Wonder Glazes. As you know, I write down the glazing of everything that I glaze, so I have my notes, so in case somebody says I need a replication of that, I can go back to my notes and do it. I've dipped this in Opluence turquoise, and as you know, most of my glazes are Opluence dipping glazes. I love them. They are tested, tried and true. I've been using them for 15 years. And I've never had a problem. I do have some brush on Amaco, and I have I'm starting to delve a little bit into the Maycos. So let's just see where I go with all of this. But right now, these are all dipped, and this is one dip into the turquoise, and that's just a winner. So I'm hoping that the rest of them come out the same. So this is another one dipped in turquoise. And this is the olive design that I have, and that's with one of the green stroke and coat. And like I said, I painted it on, I let it dry, painted on a really thick coat because it's just a small area I'm covering, so it was more like a dollop. And then as I said, I covered it with Mark's Wax On before I dipped it into the glaze. So those are the 2 designs that I have. And oh, I really like this one. You can see the mottled in the purple. That's really pretty. And this glaze is Opluence Sea Spray, which is that and Eggshell are my 2 go-to glazes. Whenever I just don't know what to glaze this, I go to these 2. And it is a reduction look, so you get some really nice, I don't know what it is. It's not texture, but just well, you can see it for yourself. Let me try and get some glare out. It's just beautiful, and it's their 600 series for Opluence. They're Mid-South Ceramics in Tennessee. So if you don't have any experience of using Opluence glazes, give them a try because they're really terrific. And you just buy the glaze in dry form and you add your own water. Because I ship everything to Jamaica, I don't want to pay for the weight of shipping water, so I buy all of my glazes in powdered form, except for the Amaco and the Mayco that come in the jars. But it's just a whole lot easier for me, so I have my own buckets and my own dipping glazes. And the other design I have for them is a garlic dish. And you take a clove of garlic and you cut it crosswise, and then you rub it on that, and it macerates it and turns it into garlic paste. It's really effective. And in the notes, I'll put down the tool that I used to make the indents. But it is a little rough to the touch is what you want, because you want it to break down the garlic. You can do ginger, you can do turmeric. You can do all kinds of different things. So it's really nice. And again, this is dipped in the Opluence turquoise. Now, this is spectacular. I was really worried about what this was going to look like, and I have 2 of them. And unfortunately, they are commissioned, but you better believe I'm going to be making a whole bunch more of these. I have, this might even turn out to be one of my favorite things I've done of all times. So what did I do? When I made the form, I just took some slip and I created the dotted pattern on here. Then I bisque fired them to, I bisqued to 05. And then what did I do? I dipped the whole thing in Opluence Sea Spray, so you can see what's hard because my lighting in here is so poor. It's in a garage. but you can see the green. Again, just the beautiful appearance that you get with that with the sea spray. Forget about this little bit on the rim, but you're looking more into here, and it's just gorgeous. And same with here. You're getting a little bit of reflection. So anyway, it's just gorgeous. And then what did I do for this part? Well, what I did was I took some of the Mayco's light flux, and I just put a little dollop in here in between the triangles of dots, and I did it here, I did it there, I did it there. I let it dry, and I did a second application of the flux because mine was kind of thin, so I just wanted to do a second one. And then I let all that dry, and then I literally just did 2 bands of, I believe it's no, this is blue rutile. I did 2 with a fan brush. I did 2 layers of fairly thick blue rutile, and then that was it. And so the flux underneath between the triangles created that lovely little streak that you're getting there, and that it creates the flow. And you can see that each one of these. Oh boy, I'm going to try and replicate this. I really hope I can. So let me tell you again what I did. I did a full dip in Opluence Glaze, and then I did, between the triangles, I did 2 layers of Mayco light flux, and then I did 2 bands of blue rutile around the rim. And I was really scared about what this was going to turn out like, because it's hard to do tests on actual pieces that are important. But I did. I took a chance, and wow. I'm going to make more of these. And I'm going to keep staring at them in between moving back and forth, because I could not be happier as to how those turned out. Okay, this is where we're going to go fairly quickly. I'm just going to share with you the glazes that I used. Again, stroke and coat for the olives, and this is dipped in Amaco's Sky. I bought the 10-pound bucket of dry Amaco celadons and added my own water, and I'm getting great success with them. Much better than brushing on. I've been a dipper, always been a dipper in my pottery career. This one is the same, but I used blue rutile, and I did 3 very thick coats of blue rutile. And so I'm really happy with how the blue rutile turned out. Let me see there, that's a little bit better. I get some of that glare out of there. But it turned out really, really nice. And then my signature on the back, Sally in Jamaica and 23, because these are going to a tourist shop, so it's nice that they have Jamaica written on the back. And that's my signature. So that's that. So now we're just going to blast through the rest of these. This is with Opulence Autumn Frost. Turned out perfect. I was afraid it was going to craze on me, because as it dried, it started to crack a bit, but I watched certain glazes that I have, and I just rubbed it with my finger as it was drying, and I guess it was filling in enough, and that's turned out perfect. And that's Autumn Frost by Opulence. And again, the stroke and coat for the olives. And I can tell you that this is melon, no it's not, it's the pink one. Anyway, the glaze is Amaco's blue rutile brushed on. Again, I covered the flower with Mark's wax on, and then I just rubbed off the glaze after I finished glazing the pot. So, like, those are just gorgeous. I'm really happy with how they turned out. And here's the Opulence Autumn Frost on one of the flowers. So, really nice. So really what I'm just showing you is just, as I said, I used to use Amaco Underglazes for these drawing designs, but for not drawing designs, for painting the olives and the flowers. But I'm a convert now. I'll be using the Mayco Underglaze Stroke and Coat, and this is dipped in Opluence eggshell, so it's got a lovely translucent sheen to it. Again, it's a little mottled. I don't know what the word is to use it. It's not a flat color, like how the turquoise is a very flat color, and the eggshell is not. It's like this. It's like the sea spray. Okay. And this is sky, and that's sky as well for the garlic dish and the flower. And then I just test it and rub my thumb across the top to make sure that there's a bit of a roughness. It needs to be rough because it needs to be able to break down the root, the garlic or the ginger or whatever you're going to use. And this is another garlic dish in eggshell. Okay, I don't know. Yeah. So I did some ornaments, and I have a bead wire, and I just hang them on there. I punch a little hole in them when I'm making them, and I have a little bead wire, and then I just hang them between two kiln posts. And so these are fun. And I did some impressions on the back. And this is, so I'm not going to go through each and every one that I've done, but you have an idea of what they're going to look like. As stars and snowflakes and an angel. And more snowflake in sea spray. These ones seem to be sea spray and eggshell. And just more. So this is it in Opulence Ultra White. Let me see if I can show you the difference between the eggshell and the Ultra White. Oh, it's hard to tell with this lighting I have. It's not very good. But anyway, you know, you're not going to really see the difference. So I won't go on with that. But anyway, these are just more. Again, just little cutouts that I did. And when they stick, because these are on the nichrome wires, I'll be able to, with a little bit of effort, I'll be able to get that one off. But I won't waste your time with that. Okay. So again, some more. The tree in sea spray. And I did do texture, by the way. I rolled out a slab and I used my cookie cutters, and I did texture the slabs. So that's kind of nice. Although this is sky, Amaco sky. And same with these ones. And this one is, I'm going to show you this one because I have a couple of pieces. This is, this is so small. But this is cherry blossom, and it's lovely. I don't use it very often. Jamaicans aren't really that thrilled about pink things, but I thought I would add a few of those in there because I can. Okay, now these are what I call purse charms. So they're the same cutout, I just didn't put a little hole in it. And what you can do is you can just tell somebody or sell them and market them. You sell them for a couple of dollars. And you just tell them they're just purse charms. So you give them to a girlfriend or whatever, and they just stick it in their purse. And it doesn't take up any room, it doesn't take up any weight. They're really small. And some of them, like I put wording on the back, of course that says faith. And that's fun. So it's just making little stamps. This one says love and whatever, and you can give them to your girlfriends. They make great stocking stuffers. So they're fun little So I just made, like I made a bunch of them. So they're fun. Okay, so this is very interesting for me. This is my cone pack. I only do 2. I do cone 5 and cone 6. And clearly, okay, so I set my kiln, I think because I run my own program, I set it to 2180 instead of 2167. I do 2167 with a 13-minute hold, and I follow that from Jessica Putnam Phillips, and that's what she fires hers to. And I usually get, let me see, this is from a previous fire. This is what I normally get. And this time I set my kiln to 2180 and I put 10-minute hold, and you can see that the number 6, the witness cone for cone 6, has bent all the way down and just a little bit. So I reached cone 6 on this, which actually, using B-Mix 5 clay, I'm not getting any bloating, which is good news. And the Opluence glazes really like cone 6. And you get that that lovely reduction look on their glazes, and it really comes out in cone 6. I don't do a slow cool. I just let the kiln cool naturally on its own. So that's the difference. This is 2167 with a 13-minute hold, and this is 2180 with a 10-minute hold. So I think I might even just go 21. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So anyway, we'll see what it is with the next firing that I do. It depends on the glazes that I'm using. But this was a real learner for me. So I'm really glad I put in the witness cones. Remember, witness cones measures heat over time, which is heat work, and gives you a really good indication of what is going on in your kiln. So this was a valuable lesson for me, and I'm glad I did it. Okay, we're just going to rip through some more of these flower saucers. I don't need to go over what they are because you're getting used to it. It's Opluence eggshell and Opluence sea spray, stroke and coat for the design. I'm really happy. And I'm really happy with how I did my garlic dishes. So what I did was I dipped a little, probably about a 1-inch brush. I want to say it's I don't know, it's one of the Chinese brushes. And I dipped it in water, and then I dipped it in my glaze, and I rubbed it over the design, because when I do a dip, I get all those little air holes, and I didn't want to have that. I wanted to make sure that some glaze got deep into the crevice. And then I dipped it, and then I took that same brush and I just kind of lightly brushed over that, because I didn't want a huge glaze buildup, because if the glaze really fills in there, then you're not going to have that rough edge that you need to macerate your garlic. So yeah, that turned out great. All of them turned out perfect. Okay. Alrighty, this has some interesting things. Let me just finish with the last of these. I know that this is melancholy, and the little dot in the middle is a hot tamale. And this is Blue Isle, and one of the pinks. It's not pink, I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. So I'm pleased with those. More. Again, this is ultra white as opposed to the reduction look in the sea spray. This is a very flat color, like the turquoise. It's a very stable, very flat color. These glazes are very stable when they're used by themselves, one dip. They're very, very stable. But like you can see with this beautiful jar, add in another glaze and you get some incredible run. it's kind of pathetic when you really admire your own work, but simply those are probably really close to two of the best pieces I've ever made. With the result of the glazing, just the jar itself, I don't know how I'm going to give them up, but I'm going to have to. Anyway, more garlic dishes. This is ultra white and sea spray. Okay, so finally, now this is cherry blossom, and I don't use it very often. Like I said, Jamaicans aren't too partial to pink, but then these are going into a tourist shop, so it isn't as dark as it seems. Like, it really is fairly pink. It's kind of like a darky pink, a purpley pink, but it's gorgeous. And then I took some of I bought one of GR Pottery forms, and I bought the six-sided Wally to make a deep dish, and I had rolled out the texture onto a slab, and then I draped it over the Wally form, and then I just took like a ruler, and then I cut a small rim. And these are really testers for me to see how they go, but this is turquoise and beautiful. You can see the texture really nicely, and I'm really happy with how that turned out, and I like it. These are going to sell well. I have a trade show coming up at the beginning of December, and this is using Jessica Putnam Phillips Daisy rolling pin, and then I used Colors for Earth. And actually what I did was I took the nib off one of my applicator bottles, and I put it on directly onto the bottle that I got, the little 2-ounce bottle from Colors for Earth. And then I just used that as my applicator, and I filled in the one daisy and with the cerulean blue. And then I can't remember what the, actually there's no color name for what I did in the middle. And it has a number, but it doesn't have a name, so I can't tell you what that is. And then this is dipped in Opluence Ultra White, and you can see a couple of air holes in where the center of the flower is. And I'm really happy with that. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with the Ultra White over top. I did not wax over this. I just painted that on, and then I dipped it in the Ultra White, and the blue came through beautifully. So kudos to Colors for Earth if you're not aware of them. They're great. These are some more of the Wally forms. I think that's what they're called, but by GR Pottery forms, and these are dipped in sea spray. And again, I dipped my brush in some water, dipped it into the glaze, kind of did a pre-coat to make sure that I got glaze in the recess of this texture. And then I dipped it into sea spray. I'm really happy. That was another experiment for me, and I'm really happy how those turned out. Now this one, the texture didn't come out nearly as well as it did. This is the cherry blossom again, but that was my fault in the rolling. The depth of the texture when I rolled it out was very slight in this little section, so I said I didn't really care what happened to this one. This will be a keeper for me, and I'll probably put it by my bedside table and put my rings in it, or put candy in it, or whatever I feel like putting in it at night. But I'm really happy with this one. And I love the color. I really like it. Again, my lighting in here is not that great, but the Opluence glazes are really true to what their pictures are on their website. I've never had, if you've got the right specific gravity, you dip it in, count to 2, and then dip it out, you're going to get perfect application every time. It is great, great, great glazing. Now, I have a whole lot of mugs that I did. This is a commission, and I'm not going to show you the name of the commission, but if you just give me a second, and I'm going to unload. I have 27 of them in here, but they're dipped in Opluence Ultra White. I have a logo on the front of them, and because they're a private commission, I don't want to show it to you. But on the logo, I just use the designer liner, and well, yeah, I'll go ahead and show it to you. So there it is, Round Hill, which is a luxury hotel here in Jamaica, and they commissioned me to do these mugs that they put in their villas for the guests to use and to have their morning java. So I'm just going to quickly take these out, and I'll give them a good go over, a good inspection when I have the time, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Okay, that's it. And there's two more things to show you in here. So I've made a wine caddy, and I've made these before, and this time I used the Amaco velvet underglaze, and I drew some grapes, and then I took the I have some black, ultra black, and then I just kind of outlined the grapes and outlined the leaves in the black and on the stem. But I find that when I use black under the ultra white, it almost goes a very dark navy blue. And I know that, and I'm not disappointed that it's done that. It's okay, because it's really, the design is you get the idea. So it's just olive leaves and grape leaves, sorry, and grapes hanging down, and then what you do is you just put your bottle of wine in the middle. But these are dipped in Opluence Ultra White. If I used sea spray or eggshell, which is really what I wanted to use, it would run. I believe I've had that happen in the past, so I'm going to do a test on that, because I like these and they'll sell well. So you just put them on your table, and then you can put your bottle of wine in it, and then if you have a red bottle of wine, the condensation doesn't mark your table. Of course, we have to worry about that in Jamaica because it's always warm. So here's a second one that I did, and just hanging grapes and leaves. So that's that. So we're down into the last row. I just have more of the mugs in here, and I have one bowl that I'm really anxious to see. So this is the last piece I'm going to show you. I dipped it in Opluence eggshell, and then what did I do on the inside? Look at the inside. Now this is the largest one of 3 that I did, and they're nesting. The other 2, I didn't have room in this kiln for it. I have a little bit of pinholing in it, which is interesting. I've never had that before with these glazes. What did I do? I dipped the whole thing in sea spray, and then I did 2 bands of light flux, just a solid band around light flux, and I let that dry. I did a second coat. Again, my light flux was kind of thin, so I was happy to do the 2 coats. And then I did indigo float, and I did 2 coats of indigo float. And if you bear with me 1 second, I can just show you what it looks like. It looked like unfired. Let me just go grab it. Okay, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. So this is the glazed bowl that will go in that set. And this is what I did on the inside. So it is, you can't see it, but there's 2 coats of light flux underneath here, and then this is indigo float. I did I did one coat normally, and then I took my brush and I just kind of went like this. I put a thick application on my fan brush, and I just kind of went like this and patted it around, so there was a little bit, and I don't know if you can see it. You actually can. You can see those little lines there, especially there, you can see it. And that's how I applied it. And then I did I think I did. I think I did a little bit of light flux on the outside, and again a small rim of the indigo float. But you can see I only went down 1 inch, and you can see this one I've only gone down maybe two and a half, maybe not quite 3 inches, maybe. And this is the end result. You can see how far down it flowed. So I'm really happy with that. And wouldn't that just look nice on a table? This is with blue rutile, and this is with indigo float. So there you go. So there you have it, everybody. That's the end of another unloading video. Again, I want to thank you for taking some time to watch and to share my experiences with you. I do try and tell you everything that I did. I think it's important that we share information, and if there's anything I don't want you to see, then I'm just not going to show you. Anyway, I want to thank you again for joining me, and I hope you all have a really wonderful day. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you don't like it, that's okay too. I'm not going to be offended. And if you want to subscribe to my channel to see other videos, I post a lot of unloading videos, but as I said, I'm going to try and increase my repertoire and add in some building. I'm a wheel thrower primarily, so the things that I will show you are wheels. So if you're interested in seeing anything in particular of anything that I made, I'd be happy to share it with you. I have no problem with that. So thank you all again, and have a really super day, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.